Hello and welcome to Platera's history, and this is the history and events leading up to the upcoming campaign, From the Shadows. The events are from the first day of the first month, 620 PR, Platera's reckoning, till the end of the third month, 620 PR. The campaign takes place on the 27th day of the third month. In the last video, we talked about the events from the 31st day of the first month to the 28th day of the second month. Now if you missed it, please check it out and to catch up on current events. And in this final video we will be talking about the events from the first day of the third month to the end of the third month, leading up to the campaign From the Shadows. Garnaith Lutrin sets out to raid. Garnaith Lutrin gathers around 300 men and sets off to go raiding in nearby areas. The Sea Foxes raid the west. Cynthia Richmond and her Sea Fox pirates sail to the west ocean, raiding many towns and cities in the frozen north, Netherreach and Tudor Empire, taking all types of goods, food and people for slaves, but kept people on her ship for other reasons, then sent her other ships to her hideouts as her ship sails just to the south of Albion Island. The Emerald Isle begin to land on enemies' territories and begin raiding cities and castles. Yarlington declares war on Albion. Valgard Bjorn has heard about Albion being at war with two factions and has rallied his troops to invade Albion, starting a war. Yarlington has raised 10,000 troops for this war. Peace talks end badly. After much time waiting for all parties to arrive in Whitestone, the peace talks ended badly between two empires' leaders, Celestra, Empress of Abyss Empire, and Sangai, Emperor of the Golden Lee Empire. Sangai insulted most of the people who took part in these peace talks, insulting Empress Celestra to no ends, while insulting the Dreadhunters for allowing Devilkin in their ranks, telling Rhaegar he's a weak leader, and insulting Killick's wife to him, where Killick drew his sword, pointed at Emperor Sangai, telling him, "May your gods have mercy on your soul, fool. Celestra will give you none. And we will not help when you come crying like the bitch child you are when she breaches your keep walls. You have chosen unwise this day, Emperor Sangai, the drunk fool." Emperor Sangai left quickly to his empire to prepare his armies to invade the Abyss Empire, with Celestra leaving the next day. Albion captains assassinated. Berwin Fearson and Wulfric Humberth led their troops outside of Doval and rested their troops before marching into Doval. They were both found dead in the morning, with daggers left in their chests and no one seen anything, and halting the march of the army just outside of Doval. The Emerald Isle army laid siege to Utgardgig's keeps such as Utgardgig and Frostford and Whiteridge, with the Orc clan Utgardgig finally knowing where their targets are. They begin to march out of their keeps in chase of these Emerald Isle's army. The Emerald Isle army successfully took these keeps, and now wait for Utgardgig's attack upon them. Meanwhile, whilst another legion of Emerald Isle's armies land in Duber, lords and ladies and captains of both Black Dragon Scales and Dreadhunters meet at Union Keep to discuss the matter of the missing Dreadhunter Sepher. As Albion fights a free-ended war, no one to lead any troops to Doval, and Doval's troops just wait on the end of their border. Captain Blackwell holds off Yarlington at the edge of Albion's border that meets up with Yarlington. Captain Ebony laid siege to Mountain Gate as Captain Lighton and Captain Stormfire starts to lay siege to Shadow Sands as Eirik Quintel marches to Mountain Gate to defend his keeps, and Yarlington failing to get within Albion's territories. Emerald Isles are winning victories against Nanor's armies, and the Emerald Isles army successfully taken Nanor Keep before the Nanor's reinforcement could arrive, as the army of Utgardgig's orcs begin to march towards where Arcanius and his son lies, in Utgardgig Keep and Frostford. With the war of Nord, Sud and Sud clan clashing, Nord coming on top against Sud, and Sud clan just about holding their own against Sud. Many casualties of orcs, goblins, trolls, ogres, and some mercenaries that were hired. It is unclear on who will win this war at the moment. Albion sends 2 captains to Doval. As word reaches the king and his men about the assassinated captains, he sent out a message to 2 of his captains, Edwin Ebony and Van Renzi Telher, to relocate their troops to the west to Doval. Van Renzi Telher, closer to Doval borders, decided to wait for Edwin Ebony and his troops at Golden Gate with her army. Edwin Ebony decides to siege Mountain Gate before he leaves to Golden Gate, as the war with Quintel looks like it's in Albion's favour for now. Cynthia Richmond docked in Golden Gate. Cynthia Richmond abandoned her ship due to it somehow sailing to the docks of Golden Gate City in Albion and being boarded by Van Renzi's Telher and arresting her crew and freeing the people on their ship from their cages. Cynthia Richmond used a rowboat to go somewhere south. This is from the Shadow's starting point of the campaign. War between the Abyss Empire and Golden Lee Empire. War has broke out between the Abyss Empire and Golden Lee Empire. The Abyss Empire raised 23,000 troops, as the Golden Lee Empire raised 21,000 in their wars to come. As the war continues between Albion, Quintel, Yarlington and Doval, Captain Blackwell holds off Yarlington's troop as much as he can from entering the borders of Albion, while Captain Lighton and Captain Stormfire continue to take Quintel's land from them, as Captain Stormfire runs into Eirik's children leading a massive army. He begins to defend himself, trying to reach Mountain Gate. Captain Lighton makes his way to Quintel Keep. Eirik turns around to try to beat him there so he can withstand a siege. They end up meeting on the battlefield, as Captain Ebony and Captain Telher meet up with the army left at Doval. Captain Ebony stayed behind as Captain Telher goes into Doval's territory, beating his first set of army and heading towards Stoic. Captain Ebony followed behind Telher, as the leader of Doval retreats by himself, heading towards Doval Keep. As the war between Nanor and Emerald Isle continue, Nanor has lost all their troops and their leaders were captured. The Red Bull mercenary finally makes it to Arcanius' rescue. After traveling through the oceans, dodging every warship going by. With that, the Red Bull mercenary mixed with the Emerald Isles army, defeated Ugargig, and won the war against them. As one of Arcanius' children defeats the Duba tribe at White Ridge, making Emerald Isle win all 3 wars against Onana's Duba tribe and Ugargig. They allowed the Onana's family to live to serve them. They will be serving as Emerald Isle's vassals from now on. Cynthia Richmond made it to Paratel and waited there for a few days until she got word back from an organization of bounty hunters known as Skull Hunters, as she hires Basilius Kalu to go hunt the people that were on her ship and to get them back, dead or alive. This has been the 3rd month leading up to the campaign From the Shadows. I plan on making more videos about the lore and history of Platera in the future, and I hope you be there to see them. And all I ask is for you to like the video and to subscribe to the channel, and also enjoy the campaign with me and my friends, as we will explore Platera together. Thank you and fare thee well.